Hey y'all, good evening. This is Tonetta, your relationship coach at Speak Your Truth. And I want to say welcome to this video this evening. Again, Speak Your Truth is a relationship coaching business where I help educate, inspire, and empower you to speak your truth and be who you are within your relationships. So again, I want to welcome you all to this video. And of course, this is talking about unpacking the baggage questions. This is question number 10, y'all. 10. This is question number 10, y'all. And like I told you all on the last video that this will be a heavy question. It may be a triggering question for some, just to let you know, because it's talking about sexual abuse. The question is, what has been your experience with sexual abuse? And let me tell you why this question is important, y'all. This question is definitely important because having experience, whether it's been sexual abuse, any kind of sexual trauma is what I should have put on there, but that's okay. Sexual abuse, any kind of sexual trauma, rape, or anything along those lines will definitely, for a lot of women and men, it definitely affects the relationships that you have with romantic partners in the future. I put it that way. Like I said, this is definitely, like I said, a heavy loaded question. But like I said, when you're sexually abused, raped, or anything along those lines, sometimes it makes it hard for you to, of course, sexually relate to a partner in the future. Meaning that sometimes you don't like oral sex, I guess, especially if that's the way that you're molested or raped or that kind of thing. You don't want to put your face on whoever's penis or vagina, that kind of thing, and it's disgusting to you and that kind of thing as well. There are some people out there, of course, that does affect that way. There are some folks who don't like anal sex and things like that. There are some folks who do, they will have vaginal sex with you, I guess I put it that way. A limited amount of vaginal sex, I'd say that. But like I said, some are very, very repulsed by sex. Some are repulsed by different ways that you, of course, may initiate sex with the person. I put it that way as well. So like I said, when it comes to sexual abuse and sexual trauma, there's a lot of things that can, of course, be in play. I guess I put it that way. There are some who, of course, are very overly sexualized, meaning that they have sex with a lot of people sometimes, and that's how they, of course, are working through their process. I guess I put it that way. It may not be healing at that time, but like I said, that's how some folks, of course, live their life. And then there's some who, of course, reject sex altogether. And there's some folks who will not, of course, allow you to touch them in certain ways, feel on them in certain ways, have sex with them in certain ways, because they do not, because that's how they may have been abused. And they may not want you to do that because it reminds them too much of the abuser. So like I said, we definitely have to take into consideration how sexual abuse, sexual trauma can definitely affect our romantic relationships and our sex life. Like I say, I know a lot more women are usually abused than men, but there are some men, of course, who are sexually abused as well, and of course raped and those kind of things too. But I know me being a woman, I know there's a lot more women who are though. But like I said, dealing with both sexes, like I said, we definitely have to of course talk about these things with our partners. I know a lot of folks don't want to bring this kind of stuff up at all with your partner, your sex life, that kind of thing. But like I said, this is definitely one of those things that if you don't bring it up and it's causing issues for you in your own life without even having a partner, it's going to cause issues with your partner once you do get a partner, or you're in a relationship and you cannot figure out what's going on, or you're so repulsed by sex with this person, you don't like when they touch you on the butt, or you don't like when they try to ask you to have oral sex with them, that kind of thing, or 69 or whatever it is. Like I said, these kind of things will definitely affect you if you have not learned to heal from these kind of things, and of course learn how to forgive and move on from these kind of things. I know folks say, oh my God, move on and this kind of thing. Us living in the past will only keep us in the past and keep us living in victim mode and keep us living the life that, of course, happened back in the past. We're moving on. Every day is a new day. And like I said, yes, we definitely have to learn how to let go of some of these experiences. No, not mean that you will forget all about it and block it out. I'm not talking about that at all. But just learning to go through, going through your healing process and your forgiveness process. That will help you that will help you be less triggered by by these sexual abuse, especially when you're with your partner, y'all are doing things and trying to have sex and all this kind of stuff going on. It will definitely help you heal to, of course, get you on the path to, of course, enjoying sex again and letting you know that it's still pleasurable, regardless as to if you were sexually abused or had sexual trauma. Like I said, some folks don't even look at sex after that as pleasurable. They just do it because their partners want them to do it, and it's not pleasurable for them at all. There's no sounds, there's no moaning, there's no anything. And like I said, at some point, of course, we have to learn how to, I know it's hard for some of you all to possibly hear, but you have to learn how to, of course, heal and to forgive and, of course, to move past whatever experience it was. And yes, it may not take a day. I'm sure it's not going to take a day at all. I was one that was sexually abused. That's why that question is on this list. I was sexually abused under the age of 5. I think I was about 3 or 4 years old by a family member, and that's usually 90% of the time. That's who the perpetrator is. If there's somebody in the family or somebody that's, of course, close to the family. And like I said, that's what happened in my situation. It was a family member, actually. And like I said, definitely that was when I was young, like I said, under 5 years old, and of course going through life and trying to figure out who I was and what I was about and all that kind of stuff, and figuring out what I liked in relationships and what I did not like, sexually and non-sexually. Like I said, it definitely took a little while. I guess I put it that way. It took a little while in order for me to, of course, get back used to my body and feeling those sensations and that kind of thing as well. Masturbation, of course, that definitely helps a lot, just to let you all know. And I'll talk about that at another time. But like I said, definitely when you're trying to heal from sexual trauma and things like that and trying to feel in your body again, that masturbation does, of course, help. And, of course, definitely self-care as well. Whether you're doing baths or you're having candlelight dinners or whatever you're doing for yourself, those things do help. Like I said, don't just discount it because folks said whatever they said about the activities that you're wanting to do, but just keep in mind, like I said, you're your own person. You know what works best for you. So definitely make sure that you're doing whatever it is that works best for you. I guess I put it that way. And like I said, this question being on this list, on this Unpacking the Baggage questions, like I said, this was definitely an important question that I had to answer for myself. And like I said, I did answer it, of course. Like I just told you, I had been sexually abused as a child. And like I said, it didn't affect a lot of the relationships that I had sexually, that kind of thing. There's just some things that I do not like to do. I guess I put it that way as well. As far as sexually, I don't like anal sex or that kind of thing. At some point, I'm sure I will probably try it. I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, that was one thing that I just do not like. I cannot remember whether that was when I was abused back when I was a kid, whether it was anal or vaginal. I do not remember. But all I know is that I don't like anal. I guess I put it that way. It must have been the route, I'm assuming, I guess, as far as the perpetrator took. I don't know. But like I said, it must have been because I'm so repulsed by it. So like I said, that's just with me and my abuse and that kind of thing and the trauma that I suffered. But you may be totally different. I did get a call from someone about a month ago asking me about them being so turned off by oral sex and that kind of thing with her. It was a woman talking about their male partner and how he wanted her to go down and that kind of thing, and she's refusing to. She doesn't like to, and that was one of my questions that I asked her, and I have to work through that situation. You have to work through that. Like I said, it's not going to be quick, but like I said, working through things, you definitely have to explain to your partner and talk to your partner about what happened, what's going on, and why you're having whatever kind of reaction it is to your sexual experiences. Like I said, definitely don't leave your partner hanging when he or she doesn't even know what's going on and why you're so repulsed by sex and why you don't like the oral sex or why you don't want to have sex anymore at all, why you don't like certain touches. Like I said, you definitely have to let your partner know what's going on because they'll think it's them and they'll think it's something that they're doing in the bedroom. And you don't want to lead somebody down that path thinking they're making you unhappy in the bedroom. When, of course, when it's something that you have experienced that you haven't told your partner that how it's affecting you. Like I said, you definitely have to let your partner know in these kind of situations what's going on. But before you even get to the partner and that kind of thing, you have to answer this question on your own. Like I said, this is part of your growth work, part of the things that you're going to write in your journal or in your notebook or whatever you have. To, of course, like I said, work on this question on your own. If you haven't experienced anything, sexual trauma, abuse, then that's fine, and then you just move on to like the next question. But for those who are impacted by this, by sexual abuse and sexual trauma, like I said, you definitely want to make sure that you answer this question. What happened, how it has affected you, especially your sex life and those kind of things, and how how you want to tell your partner what's going on as well, because like I said, you're going to have to think through that process. Some partners may not be ready to, of course, hear that type of thing because it could have happened to them as well, and it could trigger them as well, so just keep that in mind. But like I said, it definitely has to be discussed no matter what the situation may call for. I guess I put it that way. Now you can definitely take your time with this. I wouldn't say do it all of a sudden today in 2 minutes, that kind of thing at all. I'm not saying that, but you have to process this first within yourself, and then, of course, if you have a partner, go ahead and talk to that partner. And for those who are, of course, dating and looking forward to committed relationships, I don't think this is, in my opinion, this isn't anything that you would discuss in the dating phase, I guess I put it that way, until you all get serious and we're starting to have sex and all these kind of things are going on. But like I said, you can use your own judgment with that. But like I said, that's just for me. I wouldn't discuss it with the person I've only been on like 2 dates with or 5 dates with or anything along those lines, or they haven't even committed to me yet. Like I said, I definitely will not discuss that with them until we have a commitment going on. And of course, we're by ourselves. Of course, we're the only ones in this relationship or whatever kind of dynamics you all may have in the relationship. But like I said, I wouldn't discuss this with somebody in the early phases of dating at all, y'all. If y'all are getting serious or getting and having sex all the time, that kind of thing, and it's starting affecting you when you are dating, then of course, by all means, feel free, if you want to, talk to your partner about it. But if you don't feel this person is going to be anybody in your life and you don't care if they move on, that kind of thing, then just don't talk to them about it. It's how I look at it. You only have 2 things to do: either not talk to them about it or do talk to them about it. But like I said, use your own judgment when you're dating, especially like I said, when you're dating in the early phases, when it's coming to having sex and that kind of thing. Like I said, you have to use your own judgment as to whether you want to tell this person that you've been sexually abused and you can't do this in the bedroom, or you refuse to do this in the bedroom, or you don't like when they touch your breast or touch your back or touch your arm or whatever it is. Like I said, you definitely have to be honest with the person that you're with. Otherwise, they'll think that it's them. They'll be turned off by you, and of course, some people do end relationships like that. If they can't have the sex that they want or can't feel that they can connect with their partner and that kind of thing in that way, with that deeper sexual connection, then of course many folks do leave the relationship. All may not, but there are some who out there who do. So like I said, keep that in mind, especially with somebody that you're getting serious with and you want to, of course, keep that person in your life and that kind of thing. This is a conversation that's going to have to be had at some point, y'all. Like I said, I know it's a hard conversation. It's definitely not an easy conversation. I've told my partners, of course, the partners I was married to and the one that I had, I guess like the long-term relationships that I have had, I have, of course, let them know that as well. Let them know how it's affected me and that I was working on this and working through this and processing through things. Like I said, you definitely want to let your partner know, or whoever you're with. So like I said, to let them know that you're, of course, working on these things. And if you need assistance with this type of thing, of course, I'd say definitely get you a counselor or a therapist, or if there's a coach that, of course, specializes in this area. I, of course, talk about it as well. And I've done a trauma series. This is June. I did that trauma series back in April because it was National Sexual Abuse, Sexual Trauma Month. So I did, I guess, a series of videos back in April talking about sexual abuse and trauma, and of course working through your processes. You should be able to find it still here on this page. I don't think I've removed anything, so you should be able to find it here. Or if not, it's going to be on YouTube, and I can try to share. I can share my link, of course, to my YouTube channel sometime this evening, so that you all can go on and check out those videos about the sexual trauma, and of course other videos. I think I have over like 100 videos on there, so talking about my story and different situations, life lessons and experiences and all those types of things. So I'll definitely share that with y'all later on. But like I said, this question number 10, Unpacking the Baggage question, is talking about what has been your experience with sexual abuse. And I should, like I said, I should have put /trauma on there as well. Because like I said, being sexually abused and sexually traumatized, it can definitely affect the sex life that you have with future partners. So let's keep that in mind, y'all. So with that, like I said, this is Tonetta, your relationship coach, and Speak Your Truth, where I help educate and inspire and empower you to speak your truth and be who you are within your relationship. I want to say thank you for tuning into this video. I know this is a heavy topic, but it has to be talked about in order for you all to, of course, gel well and communicate about sex things in the bedroom and have sex, of course, as well. And, of course, talk about pleasure and all those kind of things. So, like I said, because for several people, for many people, it does affect them in the bedroom once they start, of course, dating again and having partners and talking about sex and all these types of things. So we definitely want to make sure that we're, like I said, unpacking the baggage so that we can have more healthier, connected, and more intimate and romantic relationships, y'all. And this question, it will definitely help you on that path as well, help you on that journey as well, to the best relationship that you all can have. So with that, I want to say thank you all again, and just give you a reminder that the actual download for the Unpacking the Baggage questions is in the description of this video. It's 30 questions. There's 15 that's talking about things outside the bedroom when it comes to your connection and intimacy and all those types of things. And then there's 15 on the bottom that's talking about the sex and pleasure, fantasies and all that kind of stuff as well. So Like I said, go ahead and get your download free right now. Like I said, it is free because I want to make sure that you all have something that you all can work through that was free, so you all can, of course, start doing your work. Like I said before, I know us coaches and whoever else talks about doing your work and do your work and do your work when we don't fully explain to people what the work actually is. And like I said, these questions are definitely part of that work. So like I said, with that, I hope that you go ahead and get your download today. And for those who are watching the replay, definitely take this video to heart, especially if you're one who have had sexual abuse and sexual trauma. This is definitely something that you want to work on or start working on as soon as you can. And like I said, go ahead and get your list and start working on that. If you should have any questions or concerns or anything along those lines, feel free to comment on this video or send me a direct message here on Facebook or Instagram or on YouTube, wherever you see this video. So with that, again, this is Tonetta, your relationship coach and Speak Your Truth, where I help educate and inspire and empower you to speak your truth and be who you are within your relationship. Take care, y'all. Have a great evening.